The influence of shift work on sleep and on health. Do you average between 7 and 9 hours of sleep per night? Didn't think so. You can't lie to me. You should be though. Between 7 and 9 hours of sleep per night is the optimal amount for superbrain function, depending on age, depending on person. Optimal sleep time is defined as the amount of sleep that will help you effectively traverse the 4 stages of sleep, getting a restful and wholesome night. Out of these 4 stages, 3 are referred to as NREM, or non-REM sleep, and one of them is referred to as REM. Stages 1 to 3 are essentially just incrementally increasing deep sleep. Stage 1 being the lightest, with some eye movements and minimal muscle movement. Stage 2 killing both of those movements and really only showing some minimal brain activity. And Stage 3 being dead on the pillow asleep. REM stage is the stage named after its acronym, Rapid Eye Movement. This is the stage where the brunt of your dreaming gets done and your muscles are active at low intensity. You will cycle through these 4 stages a few times as the night progresses. Now, sleep is really up there with the things that you need to do to stay alive. Starvation will kill you in 8 weeks, dehydration will kill you in 8 days, but the longest a human being's ever gone without sleeping or dying is only 11 days. It's also where you increase productivity, brain and heart health, emotional balance, creativity, and even weight. With sleep being such a vital part of human development, why would anybody ever give it up? The circadian rhythm is the 24-hour cycle that every living thing follows. It's what tells you to wake up when the sun rises and what tells you to go sleepy by when it gets dark. This is a problem because shift workers don't generally see the sun. The fluorescent hellscape that is Coles After Dark gently whispers into that primal survival part of your brain, it's daytime, I promise. It even has its own disorder named after it. Shift work sleep disorder, or SUST. SUST is characterized by insomnia or narcolepsy, both things that can have a huge detriment to the natural circadian rhythm. Insomnia being a sleep disorder characterized by a difficulty to fall or stay asleep, and narcolepsy being a neurological disorder characterized by excessive daytime sleepiness and intermittent uncontrollable episodes of falling asleep during the daytime. Sleep deprivation, as written by Medical News Today, can increase moodiness, depressive spells, and forgetfulness, while decreasing learning ability, concentration, and even sex drive. So Lawson, how can all of these things just be triggered by a lack of natural sleep? Well, let's look at some of the things your body does while it sleeps. Production of cytokines. Cytokines can be pro or anti-inflammatory and help to fight infection. Production of leptin, the not eating hormone. Production of ghrelin, the eating hormone. Production of insulin, the fat storage hormone, a lack of which can lead to diabetes. Building and rebuilding of arterial walls to prevent cardiovascular disease. He pretty much said it best. And the production of testosterone and growth hormones in men. Let's check out what a person who's lacking proper sleep might be looking like. The lack of cytokines puts them at risk for tissue inflammation or rheumatic diseases. The inconsistent production of leptin and ghrelin will make it likely that they become severely over or underweight, with a healthy dose of diabetes to boot. For every hour this person loses of sleep, they exponentially increase their risk of heart disease, and just to kick them in their already coffee-stained teeth, the hormone shortage has made them 5'11". In the Year 12 world of stress students, it may seem like undersleeping is the only real issue here, but oversleeping is also super prevalent, especially in shift workers. Shockingly, oversleeping and depression have been shown to be linked bidirectionally. It's relatively well known that oversleeping can be an early warning sign for depression, but there is a growing body of research indicating that disturbed sleep may raise risk for suicidal behavior, independent of depression or other mental health issues. So let's talk about sleep debt. As a person continually gets poor sleep, a gap develops over time, consisting of the time between the minimum hours of sleep required and the hours of sleep that you're actually getting. This can be due to sleep apnea or diabetes, but is especially relevant for shift workers, especially for workers with shifts between 3 and 5 a.m., where fatigue levels peak and alertness levels drop. This sleep debt is a great way to visualize how much sleep you're actually losing. If you go by the minimum recommended hours and say you're sleeping 7 nights a week, I hope you're sleeping 7 nights a week. If you go by the minimum recommended hours of sleep per night and say 7, then here is your sleep visualized. From Monday to Friday, about. I'm pointing at a green screen. I hope that this is in the right spot. Sleeping 6 hours on Friday, we'll put a little bit of red into this ledger, which goes over here in the sleep debt. But sleeping 8 hours on Saturday, completely rubs it out. Debt resolved. And yes, paying off your sleep debt has to be done with good natural sleep. You can't take 3 20-minute power naps on a Monday and call it done. Shift workers have to have this sleep debt grow and grow and grow, as the nights that they do have to themselves, like Friday or Saturday, are usually spent out with friends or family. Here it's important to note that even people who voluntarily have lower amounts of sleep in some nights can ruin their actual sleep times on other nights. If you take one night to spend partying until the wee hours of the morn, then sure, that's one night where you have a big old debt. But there's also a chance that your brain gets acclimatized to that schedule and starts ruining sleep in some of your other days as well. For example, Monday, which apparently it's the whole thing now because I've just gestured here. Now, daytime workers can also have some trouble maintaining I gotta stay in the green screen. Now, daytime workers can also have some trouble making a decent sleep schedule, especially trying to fit in a bustling social life as well. But with most retail or business-oriented jobs closing around 6, that leaves plenty of time for a good dinner and bed, easily reaching the 7 hours minimum. But for shift workers, the most important thing is to try and maintain a regular schedule. Try not to build up your sleep debt, and for God's sakes, have a nap. I should really write outros and not just make them up on the spot. It's funny, I can already hear the Pokemon music that I have for my outros there. It goes like... I know it. Like I can already, as I'm doing an outro, I can hear it in my head. I'm sure you're listening to it now. Check it out, I put the waveform on the greens. Actually, I don't know how to do that.